Hi, Will. Did I see you there for a second?
Hi, John.
Hope you're staying nice and toasty warm this winter.
We're doing all right. Got was just got back from Mexico. Was there over the weekend. Uh, and got home last night and then or actually Saturday night and was planning on being there for this meeting, but was getting ready to leave and noticed that I had a little cough and decided to do a COVID test and it came back positive. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still going around. So you're sticking it out there in Boulder.
Sticking it out in Boulder. Yeah, it's 68 degrees. So, yeah.
You
How
gonna
about
be
you? Where are you?
well, yeah, our house is in Clifton Park, New York,
Yeah.
near Albany.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so looking forward to opening the cottage. We'll be up there for the eclipse as long as the weather holds.
Yep. I'm opening I think the last week in March.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah, I think I forget the exact date. It'd be around April 4th or 5th. We plan on coming up, but little weather dependent. I mean, if we have a day like today, it's like 58 here. I mean, what's not to like?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good. Don't know what else is on the agenda tonight.
Yep. Neither do I. So I'm probably going to drop my video and mute my mic and just multitask here for a little bit.
Sounds great. Sounds
All
great.
right. Ta ta.
Bye-bye.
Oh, way up their land.
All right, it's
Is everybody there?
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Will Henschel.
John Snyder,
4:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Will you do a roll call?
Clara,
Here.
Janet,
Here.
Mike,
Here.
Alan,
Here.
and Peter is absent.
We'll open the public hearing for any comments. Will, do you have any comments?
Are we up on our application?
Yep. Yes.
Hello, thanks. Will Henschel, 465 River Road. You should have, I don't know, Greg, and I'm sorry if it was too big of a file, but I sent what I was calling Exhibit C, which had a number of pages within it. Do you have that file?
Yeah, where you did your renditions and
Exactly.
sketches and such?
Exactly, yes.
Yes, they have a copy of that.
Okay, good. So our application is unchanged, except I supplemented it a bit to respond to what we understood to be the applicants or the neighbors' concerns on there. So the page 1 of the exhibit just shows the 33 square feet or so that is within the setback space. The next page is a blow up of it. That's page 2. Page 3 shows basically where we stand now on the with it. However, I did supplement the application. One of the concerns from the neighbor was that we were storing our trash cans on the space within the setback, and that was unsightly to her. So if the shed were allowed to stay where it is, we would, in perpetuity, as long as we're there, store our trash cans on the opposite side from there. There was also a complaint from the neighbor that our shed looked a little bit too much like her shed. Our shed was painted and designed to make it look like our camp. Her shed happens to look a lot like our camp. But to mitigate that, and certainly concerns about people parking, our guests parking in her spot, and not to confuse it, we wouldn't change the color from there, but we would propose to grow ivy up the side, hide it, and potentially that can decoy it further. But you see on that page 3, it shows how we can use that space to park off street. We don't use the driveway, as we get my mother up and down the driveway and golf cart from there. So we try not to block that for permanent parking spaces. The exhibit, the page number 4 of that, the next page from there shows what it would look like if we were to move the shed. We would need to move it about 5 feet, 6 inches over towards it. It does have room just missing the wellhead, but it is almost right on top of the wellhead. From there, we would have to extend the base of the that we built the shed upon, and we would also have to extend a retaining wall over. So we would do all of that work, move the shed over. That would leave a remaining piece that is in the setback line that would be a retaining wall. And as we understand, the retaining walls are allowed within the setback. And on that, given the space that we have in the wellhead and what have you, the concern about storing the trash cans there, we would store the trash cans there, and those would be seen. And it also mitigates to a large extent our ability to park within there and around the trees and between the shed. It would be too tight. I think it goes down to about 8 feet from the edge of the shed to the tree base, and then we would be parking on the shoulder of the road. So that is the kind of before and after results of the variance, and then if it were to improvements that we would do if it were to stay. And then I know that there was a large concern, and just to bring this up, and it was brought up at the last meeting, Will, do you plan to do anything else? The only thing that we would plan to do is really in response to when we remove the previous non-conforming shed. There was concern from our neighbor that we were exposing a fair amount of our outdoor recreation shower and the back side of our camp, and we would need to do screening and needs for a 10-foot fence on her side and yada yada yada. This is a master plan on how we might mitigate against that. None of the items that we have on here would require a variance. They would be for a fence that is lower than 5 feet 6, well inside of the property line, some landscaping within there, an extension of the deck to the setback line to continue it around on the other side. But I'm open to any conversations if I were to go forward with this with our neighbor on how to make this a win-win, as I know that she was planning on doing something as well. So that's the extent, but our application is unchanged from when we brought it in before, except for the supplements to respond to our neighbor's concern there. So thank you.
All right, close the public hearing.
Ask if anybody else has.
Should I make?
Ask if anybody else has. There's 2 people up there.
Yeah,
Oh, there is.
The gentleman wants to
Yeah.
talk.
John
John?
Snyder is on as well.
Okay, John, do you have any comments?
No, I have no comments for the public hearing. Thank you for recognizing me, however.
Okay, we'll close that portion and have an open meeting here. We'll open the meeting. Do we have to do roll call again?
No,
Okay. We'll open for a discussion between us. Michael, got any comments?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with this. You're playing the variance that exists, the 10-foot variance. The other concern I have is, what is it? It's almost 2 feet variance when we come down to it, right?
But we've
3
done,
feet.
So it's 4 foot 5 inches, that he's lacking, or, 5 foot 5 inches that he's lacking, as per his drawing. It gets away, it's closer towards the road, it gets away from the property line as he goes towards the river. I believe it's like 5 foot approximately from the property line closest to the road, and then as it goes back, it's 8 feet.
Okay, so does he have, would he have room to do back?
He's on a ledge,
Oh,
and he also has the power lines that cut right through the middle of his property.
I didn't remember seeing that.
The second. Page 4. If they went to that. Outside of them having a park on, or parking on the edge of the road is the biggest concern, right? That would take care of the variances,
If they move the shed over,
if they move the shed over.
you can move it over, but there's a well capped there.
this is an illustration that Al's talking about, that shows the shed right next to the wellhead.
Page 4.
Yes, yeah.
And it would be right next to the wellhead.
And the trash cans that she objects to are on the,
Be on her side.
be on her side.
So I
So.
would say because. Just looking, it looks like they still have room enough to park 2 vehicles. Off the side of the road.
If they ran parallel with the road as he's illustrated,
No, if they
ran.
move the building over. There's still room enough there to park a car, there's room enough there to park a car.
This is quite ledgy right in here. There's
He
a
would have
ledge
to-
that
he
runs
would-
right down this whole thing.
Okay.
And he would have to add, to move the shed, he's gotta add another retaining wall.
Okay, all right, okay.
Extend
See, that's a trouble.
Extend it, whatever you
That's
want,
the trouble, me not getting down there and looking at, okay,
cause I measured it today.
yeah.
You'll see, this is his retaining that he's parking, and then this is how it all,
Okay, all right, I see now.
it's not a very deep lot, that's
No,
one of
it's
his
not.
problems, and,
Okay, I see what you're talking about now.
It looks like we'll have to extend it about 5 feet, move it over, and then it's not gonna touch the well cap, but it's gonna bump it.
Right, we wouldn't be room enough to work on if they have to pull a pumper.
Page 5 shows the ledge on it.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
And after reading this, did he have the knowledge that he needed a variance before he did this?
I advised him he needed a variance.
Before he did the building? release?
No, after I noticed it up.
Oh,
I was, and to that, if I can speak, I was in the impression that it was 5 feet, from there. So that's why we put it at the 5'6" line, and I was incorrect.
Anybody else have any comments?
Well, all right, if you go to the original plan, does that address everybody's concerns that get scratched cans out of her site? Does that address?
Well, I mean, as Will said, it's, as long as he has control of the property, it's my understanding, from what I just heard, that he would place the trash cans on the west side of that shed, which would conceal him from the neighbor, but, you know, that was one of the concerns that the neighbor had, was having to look at the trash cans. We don't regulate where trash cans are placed in our ordinance,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Some people have front yard setback requirements that you can't put trash cans out in front, but we don't have that. So. It wouldn't be against the law for it to put
No,
a
I-
trash can on the other side, or anybody else that owns the property later on. So.
Any other comments? What is this action? Oh, area variance and short environmental assessment.
So just for the record, you all have been given a copy of Miss Lamachi's, which is the neighbor to the east.
Yeah.
A letter asking that the meeting
want-
tonight be
Want to
tabled.
vote on it?
And well, I just wanted to be read into the record that she has asked for this to be postponed to the next month, so she's able to communicate with the board. And that's your discretion on whether you want to table it or not.
Can we take a vote on it, whether you want to table it again?
no,
I say no.
Well, did we put out a timely notice it, the agenda?
There, all the neighbors were notified with a written letter. She's been traveling, so I'm not sure what her mail situation is.
But she was sent a letter in time for the meeting.
Yes, they're sent out 10 days in advance. You received your letter with no problem, John?
This is John. Yes, I received the letter with no problem. I can't off the top of my head said when I got it, but it was probably a week ago or so.
I say no. We just
I
vote on it.
proceed on this myself.
You what?
I think we proceed on the hearing.
Proceed, right. Alan? Proceed? Clara?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right. So,
So you'd review the 5 standards for an area variance.
thank you, Greg. An undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by granting the variance. I say no.
we'll be doing all up down the river.
Yeah. The benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the variance. I say no, there's no. Either gotta be moved or. The required variance is substantial.
Requested.
Yeah, the requested variance is substantial. I'd say. Not any more than a lot of them up and down the river. The proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. I say no. The alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision, but shall not necessarily preclude granting the variance. Yes. But before we vote, can I make one comment?
Certainly can, it's an open meeting.
Will, did you know? You said you only knew it was 5 foot. Where did that come from?
That was my, from looking at the other sheds and the adjacencies of things and going through there. Also, I did not check the code when I did it, but I had remembered that from an application that we made on 3897B that was in reference to that was talking about accessory structures at that time. So
It's been 10 years at least that it's been 10 foot.
It's actually 15.
15? You mean I'm just getting older?
Well, the way that the code read in prior ordinance was, on a conforming lot, it was required to be 15. On a non-conforming lot, which Will's is a non-conforming, it would be 10. Very interesting read the way it was, so we changed that over this last change, and made it just simply 10 feet. Didn't make sense to hold one person to a 15-foot setback and another person to a 10.
But it was 5 when I moved here.
Oh, I don't know, I was just a little kid.
Because Tracy took it 5 foot from my room.
yeah, and absolutely, I wouldn't have, yes, I guess I could have checked the code. I should have done that on that side, but wouldn't have knowingly put it over the setback line. And the effort that it took to put it there.
All right, are we ready to vote? Mike, we can vote?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. You gotta make
Somebody
a,
make a motion.
yeah, you gotta make a motion. Somebody. Nobody's gonna make a motion?
I guess I'll make the motion then. I'm trying to figure out how to,
Make your
What?
wording right, yes, I understand.
I make a motion that the variance is denied. And that the way, Lois put it together is, I'm looking at page 4, is what he's saying he's gonna do. With it, that
You want the building moved, you're saying.
the way I see it now, it's the only way that conforms to the code.
But we don't have. How do I say this? We don't have to conform to the code. There's a building 2 doors down that we made 3 foot from the line. His is a lot further than 3 foot. That was before you, that was before you did that, but
Number 3 is the one that he wants to do. Please. Number 4 is what? A possibility if they can't do page 3, right?
I think page 4 is it page 4?
Yeah,
Page 4 is showing it in compliance. But he would then move his garbage can over to that side.
yeah, the garbage cans would go over on her side and he'd be tied up against the wall. Or the well.
So with the version of page 3, and we're talking,
This is page, yeah, page 3 is what he wants to do.
so
That's gotta have the 5 foot setback.
right now the building sits. On sort of an angle on the line. And it's 8 or 9 foot on one side and
This is as it is. This is what he's asking for.
Page 3. So you have
5 foot.
cut it down to a 5 foot. Setback instead of the 10. And he put trash cans on the opposite side of the.
yeah, but I'm looking at the variance too. What does the variance say to page 3? Is that it?
Page 3 is what the applicant is asking the board to consider to grant a variance for. And with a setback of 5 foot 5 inches at its closest point. So that's this one here. Yeah. So Mr. Henschel's asking for relief of the 10-foot setback. Asking for 4.5 feet of relief. And that's
So
what
he's
he's
asking-
that's what he's asking for a variance for.
Cause like I said, when we measured it today, it's on an angle. The very front of the building is shorter towards the property line than the back, but the back is almost 9 foot. 8 foot,
8 foot 5, I think
Yeah.
it shows. And that is with the overhang, that's counting the overhang.
right,
There's a line that's marking the whole thing of orange string from the road down through,
Okay,
all the way down towards the river,
His
the
property.
property line between the two places.
okay. I
And
didn't
it
see
comes
that,
up,
but-
it comes up to the top. Where her parking lot is, it just encroaches a little bit there.
she's 8 inches on his property, but from his property line to his building is, what did we say, 4?
5 foot 5 inches.
5'5",
Yeah.
which is more than we give a lot of people,
And it's a little.
or have given a lot of people, let's put it that way.
Okay, we'll try this again.
Try it again, okay, Mike.
I'll go with approving. My motion is to approve the requested variance. Looking at page 3.
Right, where he's gonna put some greens on it. And move the
Move
trash
trash
cans
cans,
to
delete
the
the parking,
west side
yeah,
and the parking into the property.
correct,
So essentially, that's approving the variance as requested.
As
as
requested.
requested.
All right, I'll second it. Okay, shall we vote?
Okay, I just want to make sure I have that.
That's okay.
Okay, the vote. Clara,
Are we voting?
yes.
Yes.
Alan,
Yeah,
Mike,
Yes,
Janet,
Yes,
Now you review your environment.
now I have to.
Your short form environmental.
I don't think there was one in the packet, right?
That was in the original, that's what.
Yeah,
It was in the original packet?
Yeah.
I haven't.
okay. What a mess. There we go, okay.
So, Claire, just as a clarification, what I've attempted to do with these short form environmentals, being that this is only the second meeting, is I include those in all the packets for the applicants to look at, and my goal was to have the board members fill them out to shorten up the process, because at one point, Mr. Bell was reading every single one of them off. So I was including the short form application with all the applicants. And essentially, if you declare it to be a negative declaration, then, and you signed it and passed it on to the chairman could simply say, all board members have reviewed the application and considered a negative declaration. Real simplified. It doesn't seem to go that way anytime, but that's my intent. So basically, we have to, as a board, if it's not a negative declaration, then there could be ramifications for the environmental part. So, and I'm not saying that you have to declare it negative every time. If you think there's something environmentally impacting here, then most certainly we should be addressing it, but
There's no electricity to this either.
Right, it's,
It's just they
yeah, but, let's say it was located in a wetlands or
Yeah,
in
that's-
proximity to something like that. Then, you wouldn't be declaring it to be a negative declaration. So anyway, that's how, when you get your packets, that's the intent, is to give you that little 2-page short form that we fill out as a board. You folks do, not me. And if you declare it to be a negative declaration, you simply check the box on that form that says, and you can sign your name, and then that simplifies it, and then the chair would simply say, general consensus is the board declares it a negative declaration. And it's about as simple as I can think to make it.
Can I not read all this? Can I just,
You can simply say what I just said, it's the board
I
consider.
say
it
what
to be-
Gregory just said.
Did you get all that, Jill?
Everyone has reviewed it
Right.
and they've all,
Basically, like one of them is, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? Which is no, it's not going to impact. So that's one of the questions. You really want me?
No,
Okay, thank you. I will sign it
So for the record,
and.
the chair decided it as a negative declaration.
Today is the 26th.
six.
You have to read all of it, don't you? Excuse me, you have to read all of them.
No, I don't, I just read the one, just to give it an idea. I got a marking it before I.
The one you have in your packet is the one that the applicant has filled out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, Will. Hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
much.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
there you go.
All right, before we close this meeting,
So what about the other?
I don't.
please just listen. All right, other business we've got to discuss here. I nominated Peter Fitzrandolph, as our new chairman. And he will take the position. So can we vote on it? Okay, Alan.
Does anybody else want it?
Nobody, listen, everybody else has said no. Including me.
You need a motion to elect him, or what, how do you?
Nomination, don't need a second.
Okay,
Yeah, I nominate Peter Fitzrandolph as our new chairman. Vote,
Yes.
yes,
yes.
Yes,
Congratulations, Peter.
yeah, he doesn't know it, but he is. Is there anything else?
he said he would take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I made sure that none of you. I said to her, tell him I nominate him.
Thought it was gonna be you, didn't you?
You did?
No, no.
No,
You
I'm
said last
fine
time,
with
you
things
told me
like
the
this.
last time you didn't want it.
Huh?
You told me the last time. you didn't
I
want it.
did,
And I didn't want it,
I did.
but I did this today for Jill, so. Is there any other discussion? All right, I adjourn the meeting at 5 o'clock, Jill.
When they come back and. When they come back and disagree with our, what we just did.
The neighbor could file an Article 78 proceeding, which is a proceeding to overturn a board. Which she made, she's an attorney.
You could,
She has to prove that you, as the board, didn't review all of the considerations in the 5 considerations in that green packet that you had. So that's why